Mills. Jonty, good morning.
Good morning, one and all.
Yeah, nice to see you, mate. Are we getting better or worse at this stuff?
Well, certainly over the last 10 to 15 years, the stats have plateaued. So, despite all the efforts of the broader water safety sector, we're not changing the numbers in terms of them coming down. There's a number of reasons for that. We've still got, it's the number one cause of recreational death in this country, and number three cause of accidental death behind the road toll. So, if we keep doing what we've always done, we'll keep getting what we've always got.
Yes, and the thing is, so we've got this growing population. So I suppose, arguably, you'd say it's slightly better if you look at the numbers. In terms of population gets bigger, and we stay the same in terms of deaths. So maybe I'm trying to find a positive.
Yeah, look, absolutely. And look, participation rates are growing exponentially. We've got a whole lot more people doing a whole lot more things across a whole lot more environments. We've also got a really diverse population, particularly up around here, if you look at immigration, etc. So, yeah, absolutely right.
But it's guys like me. I mean, it's the mid-40s guy, thinks that bulletproof, we'll head out there and we don't make it back, isn't it? It's still that.
It's still a male problem. About 85% of all preventable drownings are male, and we tend to overestimate our ability and underestimate the risk, and that's a Kiwi thing. Yes.
Rivers are the most dangerous, aren't they?
2016 rivers equated to a third of all preventable drownings, so they're really unpredictable, and after weather conditions change, they're really changeable.
What's the specific mistake that people make?
That's a great question. There's kind of two things. First and foremost, the skill set. If you've got the skill set, or if you don't have the skill set, that's one thing. But most preventable drownings happen on the basis of people making dumb decisions. I really can't sugarcoat that. And Duncan, I know you've been an advocate in the past, and life jackets is a good example of that. We lose about 20 recreational boaties every year, and about 2/3 of those would have survived had they been wearing a life jacket.
So it gives them the life jacket is merely giving someone a chance at life, isn't it?
That's right. You're far more likely to end up surviving if you end up in the water with a life jacket than if you don't.
Have you ever heard of someone falling off a boat? So something happens, they're off the boat and they manage to get a life jacket by climbing back onto the boat to get the life jacket?
Really hard to do.
Have you ever heard of that?
Yeah, no, really hard to do. And actually, a lot of people have their life jackets in a place on the boat. Then when they do get into trouble, they don't have access to it. So we're the thing. It's a no-brainer.
So true. Just putting on from Mark's question. You're standing in a river, or no, let's say you're standing at the beach in waist-deep water. You can still lose your life.
Yeah, look, absolutely, and you can drown in 4 inches of water. So any waterway presents a hazard. So people need to be prepared, and fundamentally, from a male perspective, need to understand your limits and watch out for each other and know the dangers. Look, we're an island nation where a lot of people come to this country for the very purpose of playing in the water, and as Kiwis, we all play in the water in one way, shape, or form. So, but our waters are actually quite treacherous. We've got a lot of rips, a lot of currents, a lot of inland waterways that are predominantly colder than a lot of other parts in the world. So our environment certainly is conducive to high participation, but also unforgivingness.
I see this. The New Zealand, Europeans, Pākehā, we make up the highest list of people dying. A lot of people think, culturally, it's not hard, it's not Pākehā, but it is.
Well, look, Pākehā make up a big proportion on the basis that we make up a big proportion of the population, but over half this year have been made up of Maori, Pacific Islanders, Asians and new immigrants. So certainly overrepresented Maori in the population is that cultural connection with the water, kaimoana, food gathering. Yes. It's a really complex problem. It's not one-dimensional, and that's part of the challenge. We've really got
fishing off rocks.
Rock fishing, crab fishing, new activities like stand-up paddleboarding, for instance, which didn't really exist 10 to 15 years ago. And there's that degree, in my view, of we don't have that kind of inherent fear or respect of the water. So we see it as a playground as opposed to a dangerous place to be.
No,
and you said it before, it's actually longer term. It is a cultural change. First and foremost, we need to start with that education at the grassroots level, and we've got up to 3/4 of our kids coming out of the education system without the basic foundational water safety skills.
Of being able to swim.
Of being able to float. Yes. And fortunately, we put up a partnership. The Warehouse have got behind water safety just last year to educate young children. We're getting to about 200,000 of them through the school system, just with those basic foundational water safety skills.
What we used to take, we took it for granted. It now doesn't happen.